Hello IndyCar fans, welcome back to my review on the Indy 500. To continue where I left off with the review of the race, it is amazing how two orange cars unfortunately got the squeeze on each other later on coming out of turn 4. As you can see here, Connor Daly loses it coming out of turn 4, makes a few ballerina type spins, with Oliver Askew losing his way through the smoke, just loses control and boom! Right into the safer barrier. Fortunately for them, they were okay. Later on, Alexander Rossi, among others, would pit and then, unfortunately, got into a little tangle with Takuma Sato coming out of the pits. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Had to endure a stop-and-go penalty for it. Sato was okay and continued on. But what would happen with Alexander Rossi later on? Well, after that serving his penalty, he tried to charge his way through the field, but he pushed a little too hard, and this is how we ended up. Yeah, not the way to for a former Indy 500 champion to end up. His first DNF at the race. Like I said in my last video, after Marco slipped from pole to 13th, I didn't take it as a good sign for the rest of the team. And it's a shame because I love Andretti Autosport. They're my favorite team of the whole IndyCar series. As for the rest of the team, well, at best, they finished 7th, 8th, and 10th when it comes to the top 10 positions. In 7th, it was Hinchcliffe. 8th, it was Colton. And in 10th, it was Ryan Hunter-Reay. But the biggest surprise, and somewhat in the ways, depending on who you ask, controversial, came with 5 laps to go from the finish, when Rahal Letterman Lanigan driver Spencer Pigot lost control coming out of turn 4 and hit the pit attenuator wall. And it was a nasty smash, alright. But I'd say, thanks to the safety designs of the Red Bull engineered aeroscreen, who knows if that kept him from being completely serious in injury. He was taken to the hospital, but in the end he was okay, just shook up at best, or worst if you like to put it. But, oh man. And the fact that it destroyed the attenuator in a way that would have taken an hour to replace, some people may say that race should have gone under red flag conditions so they can fix it. Well, unfortunately, it was too late in the race to do that. It would have taken more than an hour to fix, and the NBC slot just wouldn't allow for this to be. And since they were this late in the race, it wasn't worth the effort, so they finished under yellow. And I don't agree with NASCAR saying that they should do overtime like they do in NASCAR, like if there's a yellow flag with a lap or two less to go from the checkered flag. If it finishes under green flag conditions, great. If it finishes under yellow, it should finish under yellow, not keep going into overtime until we have a green flag. Like, if you want that, go to NASCAR, but the Indy 500 is for 500 miles only. This is not the Indianapolis 505 or 10 or whatever you like to call it. No, it is 500 miles, 200 laps only, end of story. If you're leading at the end of the 200th lap, if it's under yellow or green, great. If you are not, then you are not. But I do not believe in green-white checkered overtime nonsense. It's not for the Indy 500, and that's that. As for what happened to Pigot's car, well, it was a really big mess. In fact, you could say Pigot really hammed it up. Well, everybody, here I am to tell you what I said in part 1 earlier of how Japan and the Indy 500 come together. Because for those who don't know what I meant by that, much less who won the 2020 Indy 500, I'm about to tell you. This year's Indy 500 winner is Japan's Takuma Sato. This is his second Indy 500 win, and this year he won it for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. And it's the first time since the team had won in since 2004, which was also Honda's first Indy 500 win, which Buddy Rice was the driver to victory. And so, to honor Honda's success in 2004 with Rahal Letterman and Buddy Rice the driver here in this model, I'm going to have some rice for dinner to celebrate this Japanese success. Taco flavored. Speaking of tacos, Rookie of the Year honors goes to Patricio Award of Mexico for finishing 6th for the Arrow Schmidt Peterson McLaren team. He's the only rookie out of 5 to have finished the full 500 miles, in fact. He's the 3rd Mexican driver to win that honor. The last one was Bernard Jourdain in 1989 and Josele Garza in 1981. I wish you luck in the future, Pato. Wherever you go, your racing skills tell me one thing: the odds are standing Pato for you. as you see here, this is the Paynos G-Force chassis that was powered by the Honda that gave Buddy Rice his Indy 500 win that was range shortened in 2004, which was also the team's first victory. I may have said in a video last year about this car that it was Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. Well, in 2004, Lanigan was not a co-owner of the team just yet. He was doing business with other teams at that point. He would become a co-owner with Bobby Rahal and David Letterman in 2010. And so at last, with Sato winning the 2020 Indy 500, Mike Lanigan is now officially a team-owning winner of the Indianapolis 500. This car here is what Takuma Sato took his first Indy 500 victory to with Andretti Autosport in 2017. I was there to see it, and my God, it was an exciting race compared to 2020 for obvious reasons. Some people say because it finished under yellow, and that's understandable, but that aside, because I'm more of an Andretti fan anyway, but the fact it went down to the wire, and it was like I was seeing history being made that day, and this is what I caught with my own camera when he took victory at Indianapolis in 2017. I even got to personally show that to Takuma himself last year at Pocono, and he found that funny. Yeah, that girlish scream, that's me, screaming like a girl. I never get tired of that, because that was definitely a race to remember. Once again, with Takuma Sato winning Honda its first Indy 500 since his last in 2017, this is Honda's 13th overall Indy 500 win since 2004, making him the second winningest engine manufacturer to win the race, with Offenhauser being the biggest amount, with at least over 20, as far as I can recall, from the 40s, 50s, and possibly into the 60s. So with that said, yeah, I don't have Sato's model for the 2020 race just yet, but it'll be coming. And it's interesting, because if you've noticed when Takuma Sato tried in 2012 to win for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, but spun off and crashed in turn 1 on the final lap trying to get past Dario Franchitti, I'd say it was redemption to win again the Indy 500 for the team that he almost won with. He won it for once with Andretti, then he won it again with Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, so this should make Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan pleased. Oh, and Lanigan, if you notice that sponsor called MyJack, which is an engineering firm or engineering manufacturer that Lanigan owns, well, you can finally say that that sponsor, MyJack, has finally won the Indy 500. MyJack. Thank you very much, Robin Williams. Well, there's only one thing left to do now. To honor Takuma Sato for your second Indy 500 win. I'm very happy for you, Takuma, for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, for MyJack, People Ready, Panasonic, and Honda for taking a, well, not quite memorable win, but a win is a win nonetheless. The drinking of the cold milk, that's the greatest spectacle in racing. I wish you the very best for the future, Takuma, that you win more races. Omedetou, Sato-san, and sayonara, IndyCar fans. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.